running in October last year. So October 2022, I did a 5K run. So in that time trial, I ran a 22:48. And since then, I've been gradually knocking off time until 3 weeks ago when I ran a 17:48. So number one is commuting on a bike. Think about how much time you spend in the week going to work, going to the shops, going wherever you need to go in a car. And to me, that's just wasted time. If you could, drop the amount of time that you spend in the car each week in half and just replace that with easy riding, then you're just going to be building your aerobic base without taking more time out of your day. If you're trying to maximize your performance and maximize your progress and do as much as you can in the week, you need to be getting blood tests. You need to see what your cortisol levels are like. You need to see what your hormones are doing, what your thyroid function is at that time. If as a man, if you're running and your testosterone levels are going down, you're not going to be able to sleep very well. You're not going to feel very good. You're not going to adapt to the training. So it's basically pointless. So if you're not getting regular blood tests, and if you are hitting a plateau, maybe you should look into getting a blood test and seeing if you can modify your training a little bit. You're not going to be able to develop new red blood cells if your iron is really low and your ferritin is really low and your B12 is clinically deficient. In Australia, the clinical guidelines for B12 levels are very low compared to overseas. And a lot of the population is B12 deficient. This is a real big deal if you're trying to build strength and build that aerobic power that you need to run a fast 5K. If you don't have enough B12 and iron, you're not going to get anywhere. A lot of elite athletes are getting B12 injections monthly to kind of top up their levels and really make sure they're maximizing every session that they're having. If your B12 levels are low and your iron's low, you're not going to be able to develop new red blood cells, and so you're not going to get any fitter. So you can do all of this training and you can run yourself into the ground. If you don't have B12 and iron, it's not gonna end well. Now, most 5K races are going to be early in the morning. So I think the key for getting that 5K time is to eat mostly the night before and as little as you can in the morning. The reason why is because anything that you're going to eat in the morning is either going to give you GI distress or it's not going to actually give you any energy. But you also don't want to be hungry when you're running. So I usually go for like a big rice meal the night before, usually at about 6 p.m. and that gives me at least 12 to 14 hours before the actual race. And then in the morning I'll have water, and I'll usually have something really small, like maybe a couple of tablespoons of jam or something like that. Now the reason why this stuff's all important is because it adds more consistency and it gives you a really level baseline. So you're always the same. You're not going to have these big fluctuations of performance and things like that when you're like overtrained and then injured or you're feeling really good. You're going to be the same all the time. And so it means that when you do a time trial, you're going to get a really accurate representation of whether what you're doing is working or not. But I should probably shut up and get back to work. Yep, it rained. You just got to get out of your car and get active and smash it on the bike. There it is, guys. A full 53 Ks to work and back. And then I'll probably have a bit of a rest for an hour or two, get some food in, and then probably go for a 10K easy run.